that we've begun to employ to make sure that we can take people off the streets and provide them a safe, secure, dignified, and respectful place to live.
The Affordable Housing Project is a permanent home for formerly homeless seniors or those seniors at risk of being homeless, including military veterans.
You are part of this change, this historic change in how we address people who have challenges and needs with dignity and with respect.
The building was developed by the Los Angeles Housing Partnership, a nonprofit organization that creates affordable housing for homeless and low-income families.
What it is basically 79 units of senior housing and one two-bedroom manager's unit. What this property is essentially an adaptive reuse of the Parkview Hotel, which was built in the 1920s.
I really enjoy it because, you know, like I said, I have a roof over my head, I have a kitchen, and everything.
In addition to providing a place to live, Parkview on the Park also provides social services to ensure residents don't return to the streets. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
The building is located across from MacArthur Park and has been converted into a modern transit-oriented community. A coalition between the LAPD Southeast Division and the National Guard's Sunburst Youth Academy is giving at-risk young people a second chance. Cindy San Luis takes us to the LAPD's Southeast Station with more.
Potential high school dropouts are getting an invaluable gift to reclaim their lives. Through mentorship by the LAPD and the National Guard at the Sunburst Youth Academy in Los Alamitos.
I was at 0 credits, barely going to high school, sometimes, not even showing up to classes.
But since his participation, Isidoro Rivera's life has taken a 180.
They teach you a lot of things, They teach you how to control your anger, what's best to do in a situation. Some schools, they just, tell you to do it. This school, actually shows you and it makes you do it.
Through the program, potential dropouts are turned into cadets and make up a year's worth of credits during a 5-month residence at the academy. There's a 1-year post-residential follow-up component to keep kids on the path to success. Youth are also given scholarships to college or trade schools.
I got to meet some new people. I got to get a different perspective of life. I got to live a different life, a military lifestyle, and it was just it was really fun.
Teens from the Imperial, Jordan, and Avalon developments are also prime candidates for this program.
I'm trying to better myself for the good of my family and get out of trouble.
They don't have a lot of the opportunities some of the other kids have as far as education, as far as learning some of the basic fundamental skills that a lot of kids, in other areas, take for granted.
Rivera is thankful for his coveted spot in the academy and warns others only to join if they will be 100% committed to changing their lives for the better.
If you want to join Sunburst, make sure you actually want to do it and actually complete it, because if you don't, you're actually taking up the spot of a lot of other kids who actually do want to go.
It teaches them in life, no matter what they do, they'll learn the discipline, they'll learn the fortitude, they'll learn the basic, working skills to compete with other, folks as they get older in society.
With a 95% success rate and no charge to families the LAPD refers, the program is very popular. The next class starts in January 2014. Over 1,000 applications will be sent in, but only 200 cadets will be accepted. I'm Cindy San Luis for LA This Week.
For more information on the Academy, go to sunburstyouthacademy.com. Hollywood glamour, exotic dance, and spellbinding magic. They're all part of the picture on this week's edition of Things to Do.
If you're looking for a laugh, what better place to look than the Meatballs of Comedy? Every Friday night at Victorio's Ristorante in North Hollywood. The Meatballs of Comedy features America's funniest Italian comedians. If you're not Italian, you just might think you are by the end of the evening. The fun starts at 8 p.m. and reservations are recommended. Victorio's Ristorante is located at 10901 Victory Boulevard in North Hollywood. For more information, check out the meatballsofcomedy.com. If you're looking for glamour this Labor Day weekend, stop by the Hollywood Museum for one of your last chances to see Marilyn Monroe, the exhibit, the largest display of authentic memorabilia of Marilyn's life and legacy. The exhibit features costumes, jewelry, furs, and accessories from her films, her personal wardrobe, and her 1961 Fleetwood Cadillac, given as a gift from 20th Century Fox mogul Darryl F. Zanuck. The Hollywood Museum is located in the historic Max Factor building at 1660 North Highland Avenue in Hollywood. For more information, visit the website at thehollywoodmuseum.com. If you're in the mood for something more exotic, head over to the John Anson Ford Amphitheater Saturday morning for the CalArts Balinese Dance Ensemble, a celebration of the tropical island of Bali, where music and dance are an integral part of the culture. The ensemble honors a rich culture of the island with traditional instruments and elaborate, colorful costumes. Children under 12 are free to this event, and tickets for adults are only $5. The Ford Theaters are located at 2580 Cahuenga Boulevard East. For more information, be sure to visit fordtheaters.org. Ready to put some magic in your life? In Studio City this Sunday at 3 p.m., catch a matinee of Carney Magic, a theater show that blends mind-blowing sleight of hand with intelligence, taste, and wit, resulting in nothing less than pure entertainment. While not a kiddie show, it is family-friendly. Catch one of the two last performances of Carney Magic at the Two Roads Theater in Studio City at 4348 Tujunga Avenue. For more information, go to carneymagic.com. You want more magic? Well, you've come to the right place. Smoke and Mirrors, playing at the Road Theater in North Hollywood, isn't just a heartfelt comic drama. It's drama with mind-bending magic, audience participation, and themes of love, loss, and, yes, magic. Created by and starring actor Albie Selznick, Smoke and Mirrors plays at 8 p.m. Friday and Saturday, and Sunday at 3 p.m. The Road Theater is located at 5108 Lankershim Boulevard in North Hollywood. For more information, go to smokeandmirrorsmagic.com. And that's a look at some upcoming things to do.
Downtown LA's Grand Park is hosting this year's Movies in the Park series throughout the summer. And Gil Reyes reports the movies are free.
With LA City Hall as the backdrop, families gather at nearby Grand Park for free movies under the stars.
We actually have some friends that are visiting from out of town, and so we're looking for something to do in the area.
LA's Movies in the Park series is back, featuring family-friendly films like Jurassic Park and E.T. So pack the blanket and bring the snacks.
We do have a metro stop here in Grand Park, which is on the red and the purple line, and it's the stop is Civic Center. And that drops you off right here in the park, so you can take the metro.
This summertime tradition is all about family, friends, and new friends getting together.
Now our kids know each other, which is kind of fun. I mean, and they've gotten along. The boys just met today, and they're already really good friends.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy a free summer movie on us while it lasts. At Grand Park in downtown L.A., Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The screenings are held every Saturday night through September 14th. For a list of the films and showtimes, log on to grandparkla.org. And that's going to do it for this edition of LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Anita Bennett, and we want to remind you that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
with all the zombies?
Alert LA County. It takes the surprise out of disasters like zombie attacks. And without surprise, they're out of a job.
Alert LA County is a free automated system which sends out information about emergency events via telephone, text, and email.
Any skills besides flesh eating? Pick that up.
Events may include disasters, evacuations, safety notices, and if necessary, zombie attacks.
Next.
Register at alert.lacounty.gov.
Hi, I'm Renee, representing for Juventus from Van Nuys. You're watching LA City View, Channel 35, our city, our channel.
O'Farrell, we welcome you to the chambers. Councilwoman Martinez, welcome. Good morning. So we have members Bonnet, Buscaino, Englander, Martinez, O'Farrell, and Parks. Mr. Wesson is here. How many, Mr. Clerk, do we get that?
We currently have 8 members, sir.
8 members, good. Sergeants, will you check with the officers and the members here to remind them that we need them down here right now? We have our designees for the police commission, which we welcome. Good to see you all. Who haven't been to the council chambers recently, take a look up at the beautiful work that they've done on our ceiling when this building was built in 1921. It was a testament to the vision that the people had before us, that this is a great building. And the marble that you see here. And I also remind visitors today, if you have time on such a day like today with the breezes blowing, go to the Tom Bradley Tower on top and overlook the city and the only open-air observation deck in downtown Los Angeles. Is that you back there walking around there? Very good move. Good job. That's 10. So let's call on the CLA. And Ibaka's here now, so that's 10 and a half. Okay, good job. Let's open it up, get it on the old Channel 35. we're up. Good morning. This is the Los Angeles City Council. This is the last day of August in 2013. It's a Friday. We're in the John Ferraro Chambers. Mr. Clerk, what's before us?
Mr. President, it would be appropriate this time to call the roll.
Well, let's call the roll.
Very good. Blumenfield, Bonin, Buscaino, Cedillo, Englander, Fuentes, Weezer, Carez, Krikorian, Labange, Martinez, O'Farrell, Parks, Price, Wesson. 10 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Mr. O'Farrell moves and Ms. Martinez seconds. The roll call is here. Proceed.
Very good. That would take us to commendatory resolutions for approval.
So ordered by Mr. Blumenfeld and Mr. Bonin. So moved.
Mr. President, before running through the agenda, we do have a request from member to receive and file items 1 through 4. Receive and file items
let's check
1 through 4.
1 through 4 on the. Are we okay on 1 through 4? Who do you want to talk to? Alan, who do you want to talk to?
Yes, sir.
All right. So no objection to receiving file on 1 through 4. Let's get clarification from staff.
Sir, as president, you can move that without objection.
Let's move it without objection. Let's move 1 through 4 complete.
Very good, sir.
Receive and file.
That would take us to items 5 through 8. They're items for which public hearings have been held.
5 through 8. Any specials on 5 through 8?
5 through 8.
All of them?
All of them.
5, 6, 7, 8. Special. All commissioners of the Police Commission designee. Very good. We'll hold that on the desk. Thank you very much. Next item.
Mr. President, that brings us to items 9 through 16. There are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Let's open the roll on consideration. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
10 ayes. So we're under consideration. Those who are under consideration, we do have some cards. Do we want to go through those at all?
Yes, sir. We should take the cards and ask any of the members if they'd like to call anything special.
Anything special on those items, members? Anything special? So have all cards been designated on those?
We have cards on items 10, 12, 13, and 16, sir. Again, 10, 12, 13, and 16.
All right, let's take up the balance of those. Can we do that, Alan? The balance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so on the balance, there's no specials called for. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
10 ayes. Very good. What do we have now, Alan?
Mr. President, that would take us to presentations.
Presentation. Mr. Buscaino's very ready. He's always ready for the 15th District. Joe Buscaino, and a very special presentation.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, 2013 is the year San Pedro, my hometown, celebrates its 125th anniversary. Happy birthday, San Pedro. Let's get a round of applause to all San Pedrons out there in the city, specifically down at the harbor. Standing here with me are members of the San Pedro Historical Bay Society, President Frank Anderson and Secretary Lorraine Ornelas. The San Pedro Bay Historical Society is doing great work chronicling the rich history of San Pedro. Their archives consist of historical events predating the founding of San Pedro and the incorporation into the city of Los Angeles. Also standing with me, colleagues, is a true San Pedron, Mr. San Pedro himself, Matty Domancic. Come here, Matty. Step right up with his Navy tie on. He was recently named one of the living treasures of San Pedro and has lived in the community for the past 90 years. 91 years. Matty, let's give Matty a warm welcome in the John Ferraro Council chambers. Matty has been a long-standing contributor in a number of ways. After 4 years of organization with other high school alumni, Matty found and became the first president of the San Pedro High School's Pirate Booster Club in 1958, an all-volunteer. 54. Sorry, I cheated you a few years there, Matty. The San Pedro High Booster Club is a fundraising organization originally established to provide moral and monetary support to some of the high school's athletes and their needs. On February 25th, I'm going to turn the clock back here and share with you some history of our beloved San Pedro. On February 25th, 1888, the citizens of San Pedro voted to become an independent city. On February 27th, the papers were signed, and the community of San Pedro became an independent city with the Board of Trustees and the governing body. On April 7th, 1894, the LA Chamber of Commerce lobbied for the location of a deep water port in San Pedro, what we now know as the Port of Los Angeles, the #1 trade gateway in the country. On April 12, 1909, consolidation with Los Angeles was approved by a vote of 11,587 in favor and 109 against. Consolidation became official on August 28, 1909. Throughout the years, San Pedro has seen many changes. 1913 saw the building of the Angels Gate Lighthouse. 1963 was the termination of the Islander ferry from San Pedro to Terminal Island. That the ferry was taken by my aunts who worked the canneries. And it was eliminated due to the Vincent Thomas Bridge, not the St. Vincent Thomas Bridge, as Mr. Labange refers to. In 1974, saw the founding of the San Pedro Bay Historical Society, and the list grows. Over the years, San Pedro's continued to grow and has several great museums in the area, including the LA Maritime Museum, the Fort MacArthur Military Museum, the Point Fermin Lighthouse, and just recently we welcomed the Battleship Iowa Museum at the port. And the Iowa has seen to date over 300,000 visitors since its arrival. The weekend of August 3rd and 4th of 2013, a few weeks ago, we celebrated San Pedro's 125th birthday with a community-wide celebration held in downtown San Pedro, which coincided with the 125th anniversary of the Friends of San Pedro Library. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the San Pedro Historical Bay Society efforts. The Historical Society was approached by the downtown bid to celebrate the 125th anniversary, and under the leadership of Doris Trulot and her committee, A Living Museum, was they established this Windows to the Past Living Museum. The windows and displays focus on various aspects of San Pedro's history that will remain in place for a year. We welcome visitors to come down to downtown San Pedro to experience that. I want to bring up Frank Anderson, who is not only the president of the San Pedro Bay Historical Society, but he also is very active in the Central San Pedro Neighborhood Council, to say a few words. Mr. Frank Anderson, come say a few words and give him a warm welcome.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Joe. The Historical Society appreciates the recognition because there's quite a few people that do quite a bit of work behind the scenes. We have a very active board, and we put on programs every Sunday of a historical nature. Also, we have the Muller House Museum in San Pedro, and you're all invited to come down. We have tours from 1 to 4 most Sundays. And San Pedro does have a rich and long history, and it's a difficult job. It's not an easy job preserving it, but we're trying hard. And again, thank you for this opportunity, and thanks again to Joe for the recognition. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Frank. Thank you, Frank. And just to let you know, Cirque du Soleil is coming to San Pedro in October and November. Tickets now on sale. Come and visit San Pedro, spend your money in our historical downtown district, and there's a number of businesses along Western Avenue as well that will welcome you. So with that,
Mr. Buscaino, I have 2 members on the queue. Mr. Parks, or was that an error? Mr. Bonin?
Yeah, it wasn't an error on my part. My in-laws are from San Pedro, so there was no way I wasn't staying up to say happy birthday to San Pedro.
Thanks, Mike.
Whether it's the Dalmatian fish lunch,
yes,
or fireworks at Cabrillo Beach, or the Lobster Fest, which I'm really looking forward to. San Pedro is an amazing community. I enjoy having the opportunity to hang with the Aryan clan there and spend Thanksgiving and Christmas there.
Yes.
Happy birthday to Pedro.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay,
yes,
back.
and Tom Labange. Here
I
we
just
go.
had to say, Mr. President, next to my own neighborhood, there's nothing like San Pedro. It's real. You go down the San Pedro freeway, you end up in that town, and it's got a great congresswoman who used to be a councilwoman.
That's right. Janice loves us. And
Thank you, Mr. Labange. Thank you so very much
so
for that.
Mr. Fuentes reminded me the Lobster Festival's coming next month. Don't have the specific dates, but the 13th, 14th, and 15th, thank you, Felipe, September, we like to plan a city council evening at the Lobster Fest. So let's look out to your calendars. We'll arrange something, hoping we'll invite the entire City Hall family to come down and enjoy it. So with that, 125 years, San Pedro's history. Happy birthday, San Pedro. This is our resolution to the Historical Bay Society. Congratulations. We love you.
Congratulations.
You want to hold that, Frank? You got it?
All right, so Mr. Englander, what I'm going to do is I have 2 general public comment cards. I'm going to call them, and then we'll go immediately to our police commissioners.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Mr.
Thank you,
Sachs,
Mr. President. We've got another public speaker at the podium right now. We should maybe recognized. He looks dangerous.
You want to do your thing now?
Yeah.
Real quick, because I want to bring up...
Chief Mario Rueda, Deputy Chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department. We were talking earlier in the day about the city's resources up at the Rim Fire. Please tell the council, just so you know, for the new members.
Councilman Labange asked me to share with you deployment that a strike team of engines is currently engaged in.
By the way,
on August 21st, 5 LAFD fire engines with a battalion chief deployed to the Rim Fire in the Yosemite area. They've been there on continual shifts since then. It looks like they'll be demobilized today, but they've been doing structure defense in the town of Tuolumne. Very much appreciated by the U.S. Forest Service, and we do have an agreement to recoup costs for that, and they've just done an excellent job up there. And every report I've gotten has been that they've done exemplary work. So we appreciate your support here in the council so that we can continue to support our own efforts and those of the mutual aid system here in California, because it is an example for the rest of the world, not only the United States, but for the world, the way the exchange of resources occurs here in California. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Koretz, or is that a mistake? All right, thank you. So if I can have Arno Sachs, Sid, I see you back there. Come on. Sid, come on, you're right after Arno. Arno, general public comment. Go right ahead.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Arnold Sachs. Couple of things. There was a special meeting upstairs in room 1010, and I was just curious because when I picked up my agenda on Wednesday afternoon, the special meeting hadn't been posted. So what's the time frame allowable for special meetings? I'd also like to thank Councilman Krikorian for bringing it to the attention, and I'm wondering how this will affect other council meetings, that once an item is voted on in your council chambers, then it becomes fair game for the public to address it, as he did on Wednesday regarding the public's concern about the construction or the development at the Highland Avenue station or one of the high-rises that you unanimously approved. And then also on Wednesday was a slight little item, and it was really fascinating because it was glossed over by the City Council. But when you read it, there was a sale that was rescinded on Western Avenue, like the 5900 block of Western Avenue, because for some reason the funding didn't go through. So the money was returned to the CRA, $2 million. And you wonder, $2 million for property on Western Avenue in the 5900 block, because I remember a few years ago when the now sitting mayor was a councilman in Hollywood, and there was a project that was developed on Highland Avenue, and the property was sold for like $500,000. $500,000 for property in Hollywood, $2 million for property in Western Avenue in South Central LA. So you wonder, there used to be an axiom, I believe, in real estate where you buy low and sell high. But in the city of LA, when the council's involved, it's buy high and sell low, especially with special interest. It's actually very fascinating when you look into it. And then you look at the assessments that are put out. The assessment in on Sunset Avenue is $5,000. I ran out of time.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Sid, come on.
Good morning, Council members.
Good morning.
I'm just going to read briefly from a safety report that Shahram Dalijani independently brought forward to Huwezar's office a few days ago. In a paragraph, it states that continuing incremental restorations would be able to proceed as filming and special events occur, which would partially finance the restoration efforts. The goal would be to have more regular events and ongoing activities which will provide more regular and predictable cash flow to hasten the restoration. And the subject matter is the LA Theater, which the Dalijanis owns. Besides that, he owns 3 other theaters. Now, let me remind the Council, I think Shahram Dalijani is basically blown smoke at the face of this Council. The LA Theater, which is located at 609 South Broadway, based on public records, it has a loan amount of $6 million on it as of 11/02/2012. The State Theater, which is right across on 7th and Broadway, where Izzat Dalijani Square was honored after the late father passing, 8/01/2013. The State Theater loan amount is $12,700,000, and the other theaters have other loans smaller than this particular ones. Gentlemen, if the Dalijani, especially Shahram, wants to convince this Council, and especially Mr. Huwezar, that he's capable of bringing these theaters back, I don't think so. Because if he's going to sanction the downtown court so he can incrementally collect enough venues to pay for the restoration of the theater on the behalf of the 12 merchants who are very small families who run it day by day to survive, this cannot happen. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Sid, and it's Huwezar. Huwezar. Here, to answer it. You can say it. Okay, now Mitchell. No, Richard, we're not done. I'll get back with you. I just took 2 general public comment cards. I'll take yours later. Mitchell, why don't we hear our police commissioners to be, if you would all come forward and find a chair.
And we actually had a special committee meeting this morning for public safety just for the police commissioners. And I will tell you, we were blown away. And I speak on behalf of the entire committee that when I say our mayor, Mr. President, got this one right and really picked stellar individuals that their vision, their experience, their knowledge, their education, their training, their passion is unparalleled. And each one of them, individually, we can sit and speak about for hours on what they've done here in the city of Los Angeles, individually, both in their careers, with their family, their backgrounds, their history. It's remarkable, absolutely remarkable. And if we put this much time and energy and effort into selecting and handpicking commissioners citywide, we'd be a far better place because he's done well. And so on behalf of the Public Safety Committee, I am proud to introduce you to, hopefully in moments from now, our new police commission. If we could just very, very quickly, each of you, that requires no introduction for us, but for the rest of our colleagues that weren't able to be there this morning, just introduce yourselves very quickly and give us a 3-second sound bite on how delighted you are and to be here. So thank you.
My name is Sandra Figueroa Villa, and I run a nonprofit now. I was born and raised in South LA. I'm in Northeast LA now. I've been running a nonprofit and building. We started building it because of the gang problem in the neighborhood. So I am very deeply honored and humbled that I was I'm going through this process. I had no idea that our police department, as great as it's becoming, is really scrutinized by a lot of different sources, and I'm so happy to be a part of that now that we're off this consent decree. I'm really looking forward to making sure that we don't go back to that place. So thank you, council members. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. I will give you my cell phone number because I do want to have a one-on-one with each of you to talk about what it is that we have to do to strengthen and continue to make our police department great. Thank you so much.
I'm Kathleen Kim. Thanks for this incredible opportunity to be here and present in front of you. I'm also very honored and humbled to be amongst you and to also have this opportunity to serve on the Police Commission. I'm a law professor at Loyola Law School. My expertise is on issues addressing human trafficking and immigrants' rights. Before I became a law professor, I was a civil rights lawyer who litigated cases on behalf of human trafficking survivors, their cases suing human traffickers. I also had experience teaching in an immigrants' rights clinic at Stanford Law School, and what I really hope to bring to the Police Commission is some perspective from those communities, undocumented victims of crime. I want to help to increase public safety and to represent the concerns of that community. Thanks.
Good morning, council members. My name is Paula Madison. I am a 13-year resident of Los Angeles. Los Angeles is my home. I am presently the CEO of the Los Angeles Sparks. I serve as the past chair of the California Science Center, and along with my soon-to-be, with your assistance, my soon-to-be fellow commissioner, we helped bring the endeavor to our fair city. I'm honored to serve and work with my fellow candidates, and behind me, on behalf of my family, which is somewhat large, but on behalf of my family, I will tell you that I'm committed to doing this, and this is without question the most important opportunity that I've ever accepted. So thank you so much.
I'm Steve Soboroff. It's always been hard for me to get 50% plus one, but so today I've got I got 40% of my kids here, so I still am under the under the radar screen. My new best reading material friend here that I sleep with is the LAPD org chart. So I want to let you know that when I was Parks Commissioner, I went with all council members to their different parks, and I wound up visiting every park in the city. When I was involved with the school district and the school bond, I went to 450 of the 700 schools. I want to go with each of you to areas that you think are important, the places that you think need attention. But I took this job because I love this city and I love the police officers. And every citizen and every police officer deserves the respect and positive future that this mayor wants to bring to this city, and I'm there to help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues, I ask for your aye vote for this panel of distinguished individuals that have done so much and are about to embrace on an entirely different new arena. This commission is by far probably one of the most important commissions that we can ever impanel. It's because it oversees the most important function of the city, which is public safety. And the next, when we have the Fire Commission coming, will be the same, and our partners in public safety. But the Police Commission has done such a terrific job up until now, and we just welcome the next chapter. And we are truly blessed to have this kind of leadership step forward and move us into the next generation of leadership for the city, for the Los Angeles Police Department, and I ask for your aye vote.
Very well. We have some speakers at Mr. Fuentes from the 7th District.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you all for your willingness to volunteer and your service to the city of Los Angeles, and particularly to Mr. Soboroff. I'm so happy to see you here today, enlisted again to serve the great city of Los Angeles. The police department has undergone some tremendous change, and it started with our council member, then Chief Parks, and he should really be lauded for really beginning the turnaround for the department. But the department is in a great place. It's far far better than it was, and I think it's really important to continue to manage it, which is why I'm so excited to see Steve as one of our police commissioners and the rest of you. He's been lauded, as many of you know, as a real leader. It's been chronicled in a lot of books, and he's got tremendous management style, which I hope that we begin to employ not just in this agency but throughout the city of Los Angeles. I think he said it very simply and succinctly. It's psychology. Your testimony a second ago describing your willingness to get out and about and be with your constituents, with your stakeholders, understanding their needs and figuring out how to support them, I think is a tremendous, tremendous amount of leadership that you can all bring, and certainly Mr. Soboroff can help lead. This agency is very, very important to Los Angeles. It's where our communities begin to be safe and fail sometimes to be safe. I have tremendous respect for the men and women who wear the uniform, including my brother, who's a patrol officer for the department. So I really am excited to see you all, and I do want to agree with my colleague, Mr. Englander, and underscore the point that he made. The mayor got this one right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Parks, of the 8th District.
Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you for putting yourself up for service, and I just ask a couple of requests, one of which, and many of you have been into various parts of the city, but in my time in the city, the areas that I would hope you pay particular attention to because they're the most sensitive and where we've had the historical kind of issues with the police department is areas such as Southwest, Southeast, 77th, Rampart, Wilshire, and Newton. Those commands are very critical and often actually impact to the point of influencing the city as to the relationship with the police department. There's 2 or 3 things that I'd ask you to pay particularly attention to. We've seen over the last several years issues of liability and risk management, particularly dealing with traffic collisions with officers with injuries and fatalities of citizens. We've had a new rash of employee relations issues, particularly amongst internal conflict with personnel, and then also the ongoing use of force issues. So those are liability issues that cost us literally millions of dollars, and ask that you be sensitive. And then also the issue of legislation. For whatever reason, over the last several years, we've not seen the department take as active a role in identifying positions as to legislation that comes before the state or the federal, things that not just public safety, but public health and things that impact them in the community. And as you know, it's just not about arresting people and booking them. There are so many community ills that the police department addresses that they clearly should be taking a stand on a much broader variety of legislative issues that impact the communities they serve. So those are the things I'd ask you to look at, concentrate, and certainly are here to support you.
Thank you, Mr. Parks. Mr. Buscaino, also 2 police officers on the council. Mr. Parks rose to be chief. Mr. Buscaino rose to be chief of San Pedro as a senior lead.
Thank you, Mr. Labange. I too want to echo my colleagues' remarks on what we have before us. Colleagues, is an incredible group of individuals who have the skills, the knowledge, the abilities, the experience to lead this agency forward. And in my time with the police department, I had a blessed career. I also embraced the importance of community-based policing. I embraced the consent decree that made us a better police department. Look where we're at today. I had an opportunity to work under Chief Parks' command, who also led the charge in crime prevention and partnerships. We look forward to working with you in moving this agency forward. And I ask for your aye vote. I want a quick question, and I'll just leave it up, whoever wants to answer it. What we've seen is a tremendous reduction in crime, and we attribute, and I said this in committee, we attribute our success to our crime reduction numbers, to the hard work of the men and women of the police department, but also our community partners as well. How do you plan on continuing on that front and embracing community-based policing as we move forward?
Thank you, Councilmember. I think that one of the most important things we can do as new commissioners would be to extend our own contact groups and networks, so that what we can help do is set up conversations. I'd like to think of them as mini town hall meetings, but if we can use the contacts and resources that we have and partner with the LAPD to go into the community. I think that as community members, I think people are much more receptive and welcoming when you visit them on their home turf as opposed to them coming to where you are. So I think going on what would affectionately be referred to as a listening tour, and we can help facilitate such listening tours because our contacts and resources may be similar to or may be very different. But I think the more voices that we can bring in, the more we can give voice to the disenfranchised, I think the better relationships we can have, and therefore the tensions can be put down some. Whatever existing tensions there are can be, I think, minimized. But I do believe that all of us come from such varied backgrounds that and we know so many people in the city of Los Angeles and the environments that I think that's where our help can come in.
Thank you.
Sure. I sit on the board of Asian Americans Advancing Justice, Los Angeles, the former Asian Pacific American Legal Center, and when they heard the news that I had been nominated to this, they already invited me to hold one of these community forums, exactly of the type that Paula Madison is speaking of. So community members can come there, I can hear their concerns, and hopefully bring it back to the commission. I'm really excited about that. My school, my law school, Loyola Law School, we're actually hosting a convening for LAPD to meet with immigrants' rights practitioners here in Los Angeles who represent immigrant victims of crime, because we do want to build those connections to increase public safety.
And that's exactly where I'm coming from. My background is really community organizer, advocate, and everything I've done and built within my organization has been listening to community concerns. And when I was on the Rampart Review panel back then, that was what my assignment was, is to go into the different communities in Central American communities, API, youth, families, and just listen to what it is that would help them and us understand what it is that we need to work on to build community police relations. So that's really big on my agenda for this commission.
So here we sit, this group of 4 of us that have not one day of experience in being on the police commission. We're new, we're excited, we're willing to learn. We need your help. We need your support. We need help inside the department and outside the department. This is a really critical time to be a police commissioner. The exit document from the consent decree said, okay, you guys have done a great job, you're on your own. But it also said, you know, the real test is going to be when there's a new commission, when there's a new mayor, and this is that time. So, you know, I envision this is a time when people have this opportunities surrounding them, kids, to be blanketed with programs, with education, with opportunities, and with love, instead of 4 walls of a jail cell, and that's what we're going to be doing.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bonin.
Thank you, Mr. President. We heard these nominees all this morning in the special meeting of the Public Safety Committee, as Mr. Englander indicated, and I'll echo what was said. This is an amazing, amazing panel, rich in diversity of experience and background and perspective, and I think it's the right team to lead us into that next step that Mr. Soboroff just talked about. I wanted to rise because I want to say a word or two about Steve, though. I have known Steve Soboroff for nearly 20 years. He's been a friend and a mentor. We have worked together often. We have worked sometimes against each other. Briefly.
You always won.
Not so much. The Parks and Recreation Commission, the Harbor Commission, Big Brothers, and the Weingart Foundation. Just a few of the ways in which you have given service to the city of Los Angeles. The Staples Center, the Alameda Corridor, and the Shuttle Endeavor. Things that might not be in Los Angeles were it not for your service. You have a very impressive resume. What it doesn't indicate boldly is that you have a selfless passion for the city of Los Angeles, that you have a tremendous can-do spirit and you know how to get stuff done, and that you have a heart as big and as wide as anyone I've ever met. you could have stopped giving service to the city of Los Angeles this morning, and you would leave a bigger legacy than a lot of people who've held elective office in the city of LA. I just want to thank you for serving your mensch.
Gilbert Cedillo, followed by Tom LaBonge.
Mr. Soboroff, I didn't know it was the, you'd think we were here at your retirement.
So far, I had 3 people today ask me for their contributions to my mayoral campaign back.
Thank you again for your incredible service and leadership to the city, and we look forward to your stewardship of this great commission. Sandra Figueroa, thank you. What a privilege, what an honor, how exciting it is. Who would think that the class of Roosevelt 19 whatever would produce a member of the police commission? And I say that, where's Tom LaBonge? Tom LaBonge, Rough Riders, right here, Eastern League, Sandra Figueroa. I say that because the life experiences of growing up in Boyle Heights, graduating from Roosevelt High School, going to Cal State LA, building El Centro, tells us that you understand the complexity of all the families that live in those communities. Those communities are made up of families. And so that you understand that when people come from challenging economic circumstances, that not all the young people are as successful as we would hope. And you focused and built a career on those who haven't been that successful. And so you understand the complexities that are involved, and you understand that each individual young person has to be evaluated as that, an individual young person facing challenges of the moment, and that their future is yet to be determined. And so I thank you, because that perspective is so valuable for the commission as you evaluate the great work that the members of the Los Angeles Police Department do for us. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to the ride-alongs. I look forward to working to help create that sense of community and support for the department that should exist on the east side and the northeast as it does on the west side, and as it does in San Pedro. It should all be the same. We have an incredible department, incredible leadership, but they have a really huge charge, and so I'm so flattered and honored. I look forward to working. I don't know the both of you so well, but I look forward to getting to know you more, and I congratulate both, and thank you for meeting the challenge of leadership. Thank you so much.
Mr. LaBonge.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and all of you. It is a tremendous honor to serve what is one of the greatest police agencies in the world, but you're the citizen representatives, which is so important. A few things that I just wanted to reflect. Ms. Madison, with your family here, I hope you do take time to go up to the Tom Bradley Tower. The police department used to be in here. My grandfather was a Los Angeles police officer, and he was in this building after it was built. He started in 1916, retired in 43. But the badge that the police department has, that badge has the Grand City Hall of Los Angeles, which is a testament to what people feel, the most recognized badge that anyone has. A couple things, Steve. I want to give you a paper here and a pen. Mr. Clerk, would you hand that to Mr. Soboroff? So if you could just take this down, Steve, okay, real quick. I want you to look over things in the future. Fleetwood Mac, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It will soon be here. We've stopped all our visioning for future police stations. Northeast area is going to get a new station. Northeast, but also because of the complexities of traffic, there should be a Northwest division. And Mr. Bonin, I would suggest one day we look at busting up West LA because of the traffic and getting maybe a Midwest LA division. The complexity of policing calls for closer proximity to the people we serve. And Sandra will know with the new Olympic division in the area of Rampart, things have changed because the police are closer to the people. Number two, there is no chief in the police department who takes care of traffic. I want a chief, whoever he or she may be, who takes care of traffic. Because if I did a hand right here, how many people have been a victim of crime in the last year? Raise your hand here in the chambers. Some men might want to raise their hands, but not everybody's raised. How many have been a victim of traffic in the last 24 hours? Everybody has. The point being, members, the police department, safety. We're moving forward with better pedestrian activity, the bicycling. There's nothing worse. Last night there were two crazy in L.A. high-speed chases. All that is something, the traffic chief, there's not one over there. It's within a compartment of many assignments. There should be one there. What you've done in the park system was so great. Collaboration center for community organizations, the city departments, how we could better serve the programs that we have there. The general services, police that now under a contract, I don't know what the name is, the new division that they have, Mitch. What's the new division for the GSD officers? Security Services. Thank you, Walk and Don't Walk. I appreciate that. All that is real important for us as we go on, but there's nothing more important in the city than the senior lead police officer. That's the voice for all of us, and there should be senior lead planning officers, senior lead park rangers, senior leads. They're the point of contact. That's how it goes, and how that representative for the city, because we're not there at 2:30 in the night. They're the ones. So there's a few things for you, Stephen, and you're all great, and we appreciate it. And please visit the top. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Labange. And all I want to say is to the mayor, well done. Great choices. Well done, Mayor. Okay, no one else is on the queue. Let's prepare to vote on this. City Attorney has to make an announcement.
Mr. President, I'm certainly no city attorney, but I'm happy to make the announcement.
I just promoted you, so now you're a city clerk again.
Thank you, sir.
Smart Alec.
For clarification, Public Safety Committee reports have been distributed and circulated and are now before Council for its consideration.
Yeah, you do that again, Alan, you'll be working for me, and that's terrible. All right, let's prepare to vote. Let's open the roll. Close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
All right. Congratulations. Okay, we're going to go to item 10. Arno Sachs, and it looks like a Don Scott. Arno Sachs, please come forward. And a Don Scott. Is there a Don Scott here? Then Don, when I call you, come on. Okay, guys, if you could clear the center aisle. In fact, before we do that, Miss Martinez, it's my understanding we have some very special visitors that are here. And folk, if you could keep it down. Shh. All right.
Mr. President, I'd like to recognize and welcome the 24th Street Elementary School parents and students. Please stand up to be recognized.
From my district. Congrats.
From your district. So welcome to City Hall.
All right. Let's have Mr. Sachs, followed by Mr. Scott.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Arnold Sachs. In its totality, looking at this item, the freeway park sounds like a great idea. My concerns, though, actually echo what happened with the downtown streetcar, which also is a great idea, depending on who's paying for it. The downtown streetcar was pushed through by the City Council as a great way to renovate downtown, funded through Measure R, local return funding, which wasn't addressed to the public until after the downtown streetcar was voted for. So essentially, the city as a whole voted for Measure R and its parts of programs, which would include Measure R local return funding, but only 2,000 people, more or less, voted for the downtown streetcar, which now allocates $10 million of your Measure R local return funding every year for the next 30 years. That's a lot of money, especially that's not going to go to repairing streets. So the fact that you're pushing through this freeway park, how is it going to be funded? You know, you hear a lot about how the state legislature takes money from one pot and moves it to another pot because they have new revenue coming in. Well, that's the same thing that's going to happen here with the City Council. They're asking for new revenue, and keep in mind, pushing through for the the elimination of the two-third vote for special projects. This could fall under that purview where a two-third vote will no longer be necessary, and a minority of the city will be voting for projects that a majority of the city will pay for.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, please come forward.
Thank you. My name's Don Scott. I'm president of the Friends of Park 101, and I just want to let you know that we certainly appreciate working with each and every one of you. Tom LaBonge was at one of our open houses. Jose Huizar has certainly been a great supporter. All we're really asking for and looking for is a little more support or cooperation with the city and all of the other government agencies that are involved in making this happen, including Caltrans and SCAG. It's an exciting project. We're literally making land out of air rights over the freeway, and we think that it's going to make LA a much better place to live and work. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's prepare to vote. Richard, you do not have a card on this. Let's prepare to vote on this item. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Okay, now what I'm going to do, I am going to go back to general public comment. And Richard Robinson, I'm going to take your card, and then we'll go back into the agenda.
Mr. President, members, political power is an aphrodisiac. Sir, the Machiavellian at City Hall here has buried more than one political career. Since the original sin in the garden seduced Eve, humankind has had to fight temptation. I've seen a disgruntled employee destroy her boss because of a failed romance cost the city $1,500,000 to defend a man of honor because she fell in love with his secretary. Today, another man of honor is being attacked insipidly by his enemies and moreover scheming ambulance chasers. In media, sycophants, parvenus, the clowns who around here disrupt your meetings have to be tolerated. First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America defends the freedom of speech. However, some of these Americans are here simply to disrupt. So, don't believe them. The powder from a donut destroyed one man's career because an employee thought she was not being given enough attention. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Incidentally, so the Labor Day weekend is beginning. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go back to our agenda now. And Mr. Sachs, if I could ask you to come forward. It's my understanding he has 3 minutes. Okay.
That's correct, sir.
So what we're going to do, Arnold, just so you know, we're going to take item 12 and 16. So you can speak on both items a total of 3 minutes.
Well, I'll pass on 16, sir. But
okay, then we'll hold. Okay, now item 16 is before us. No speakers on the queue. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Okay, now we're on item 12. Mr. Sachs.
Yes, thank you. And Arnold Sachs. And again, another item that has great intentions, the DASH route to be extended for school years. But some DASH routes, and again, this goes back to what I mentioned earlier about taking money from certain pots because you can infill money from other revenue. This money is being taken out of the street services pot of revenue that goes to the council district. Yet other council districts have the same dash routes, maybe different letters, but dash routes nevertheless, that are paid for by Prop A and Prop C funding that is returned to the city. So how is that money spent? This again refers to the source of revenues that come to the council districts and how it's distributed by the councilmen who sit in the district. It's essentially public funding. Neighborhood councils don't really have a say in how it's spent. The public doesn't have a say in how it's spent. It's basically gifted out by a council person whose whims are just open to the public. It's unfair. There should be an equalization. There is an item, as a matter of fact, on your agenda today. It mentions $58 as one of the budget items as needed. $58. It costs $59 to put it on the agenda. If you can be so specific about how you fund out $58 as needed, be more specific in the source of revenues that come into your council offices. It goes a long way towards creating that open and transparent government that you always seem to talk about but never really seem to deliver.
Okay, Mr. Sachs, if you'd stay close, I'm going to vote on this, then we go to 13. Okay, no speakers on the queue. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Okay, Mr. Sachs, on item 13.
Yes.
1 minute.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Item 13 refers to the beginning of a new central business improvement district in the central area. Again, an item worth applauding. But why so long in the source of funding? I believe that when Councilman Zine was here, and thank God he's no longer here, but that's a different story, he had some funding for a business improvement district in the valley. I believe he asked for $80,000 to come from AB 1290 funds. Why isn't AB 1290 funds being used in the Central Business Improvement District? We know that redevelopment takes place there because you had an item on your agenda where there was a sale of property that was rescinded that was $2 million. And AB 1290 funds are a direct fallout of CRA funding. Again, it comes back to if you can discuss $56, discuss other values.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Clerk, do I defer to you on this or Mr. Price?
Me, sir. There has been a request from member that to receive and file this matter.
Okay, without objection, that'll be the order. It's my understanding, Mr. City Attorney, I believe we have a special. Okay, Mr. Labange, you have a special in. You want to speak to the findings?
Findings are, it's hot. Findings are our pools close on Sunday. Historic Griffith Park pool. Finding are, I want us to approve it. I'm transferring the money to keep it open. I've talked to Mr. Muckrey, asked for the findings to be moved forward.
Okay, let's vote on the findings. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Now we'll vote on the item.
Ask for an aye vote.
Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
Thank you, and you can all come swimming in Griffith Park pool the rest of the month.
Thank you, Mr. Labange.
Mr. President, if I may, would you like to send that matter forthwith?
Yes.
Alan, thank you.
Do we have any more business before this body, Labange?
Just a few announcements.
Of course not. Mr. President,
okay, we still have general public comment. Is Raul Claros? I do not see Raul. And do we have an Adriana Lee? Adriana Lee? Or Adriana Lee? Is there a Miss Lee? I do not see a Miss Lee. So, Mr. Labange,
Yeah.
if you could land this plane.
Okay. That's it. It's over, right?
Yeah. Now you just go through announcements. Oh, wait. Everybody have a happy Monday.
Thank you, Mr. President, to everyone there. The agenda has been completed. There are no public comment cards. Mr. Englander,
Colleagues, I actually want to bring up one of my staff members. Come here, Alexis. Come here. Come here. Today is a bittersweet day where today is Alexis's last day in my office.
Goodness gracious.
And she really rose up through the ranks in my office, starting off as an assistant and became one of the best legislative deputies in the building. She's recently been recruited for Councilwoman Nury Martinez, and she'd been poached. She was poached. Ms. Martinez came and asked for permission first, and it wasn't easy, but it's well-deserved. And when you've got a new member in this building that needs to navigate the waters here, let me tell you, you want a seasoned expert. So it's not easy, as we've seen our staff grow and leave the nest, if you will, and expand the horizons. And it's going to be very difficult just looking across the room to see Alexis, who's really been a guiding light for me in our office. It started under Councilman Smith and has really done a phenomenal job, not only around here in the Horseshoe, but in all the legislative efforts and everything in the office that she's helped with. She's just been an incredible human being, a good friend and family to the office. So it's a tough day for us, but I know I'll be able to actually see you now, as opposed to standing behind me all the time. We can keep an eye on you, but we wish you only the best. You deserve the best. She just got engaged to get married as well. So, somebody put a ring on it, and that's a lot of bling too. It's a lucky guy, but we wish you the best, and so we want you to say a couple of words. Put you on the hot seat.
I don't want to speak because I'm going to cry. I don't have too much to say, but I just want to say thank you to CD12 to Councilmember Smith, to Councilmember Englander. I've learned so much. I'm not leaving, okay, and I'm not dying, so come on. But this office has taught me so much about the city and how it works, and just watching all of the council members around the Horseshoe has been a great experience for me. So I can't wait to work with Councilwoman Martinez's office and help her accomplish her visions for her district as well, and continue to serve the city of Los Angeles. So thank you.
Yes, Mr. Fuentes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just an announcement that this Sunday, September 1st, at Hanson Dam Park, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. is Festival Viva El Salvador, or Festival Viva El Salvador. For the last 7 years, this celebration has become a main focal point for the Salvadoran community and Central American community. This event will feature traditional food, recognized bands from Central America, and of course, lots of good times. So it's September 1st, 2013 at Hanson Dam from 10 to 6.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Mr. Buscaino?
Thank you. Saturday. Yeah, tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, yeah. Today's
my
Friday.
Goodness.
Today's Friday.
So much fun around here. Tomorrow, Light at the Lighthouse Festival. All of our faith-based organizations will be coming together at Point Herman Park tomorrow at 11 o'clock to 11 to 3 with a number of faith-based Christian bands are going to be there as well. So please join us. And on Monday, the annual Labor Day Parade will take place in Wilmington. The march will begin at 10 a.m. We'll meet at Broad and E Street and the rally at the conclusion of the march will take place at Banning Park at noon. So please join us. Speakers, music, and barbecue food for everyone. The 34th Annual Labor Day Parade, please join us down there in Wilmington. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any other announcements?
Mr. President, if I may, there's been a request from a member to send item 10 forthwith.
So ordered.
And Council has motions for posting and referral.
So ordered.
And the desk is clear.
And I wanted to make an announcement. As you know, on the 4th of September, we celebrate our city's 232nd birthday. And when 44 people walk from the Mission San Gabriel being the oldest city in our county, and form the Pueblo Los Angeles. In order to have higher participation, working with the leadership of Councilmember Jose Huizar and the Los Pobladores and those at the El Pueblo, they've created a program for tomorrow. It's the annual walk from the Mission San Gabriel. Starts at 6 a.m. When you meet, you walk at 6:30, and it's a 9.5-mile walk all the way to the birthplace of Los Angeles. Also, they're going to have a bicycle ride at 8 a.m. From the very special mission, and you leave the mission at 8 a.m. This is the San Gabriel Mission at 428 South Mission Drive in San Gabriel. The event is sponsored by El Pueblo and the City of Los Angeles. Everyone is welcome to come. That is tomorrow, the 31st of August. And also, there'll be other events throughout the weekend. Visit the Hollywood Bowl for the fireworks finale, as well as Salute to Hollywood musicals. And also on Sunday night, Bill Shakespeare in Griffith Park at the old zoo. Thank you. That concludes our announcement. Are there any adjourning motions? We have adjourning motions. Sergeants, please all rise for adjourning motions. All rise. Councilman O'Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is with great sadness that we adjourn in memory of Vartan Khachatryan. Vartan was born on July 21st, 1989 in Yerevan, Armenia, and lived in Los Angeles nearly all of his life. He had a passion for experiencing the world and traveled extensively. He loved the feeling of adrenaline, so he did all he could to satisfy his heart-pounding extreme needs, whether it was skydiving, cliff diving, snowboarding, or bungee jumping off a bridge. Vartan was an avid supporter of Los Angeles Lakers and the LA Kings. It was a dream come true when he got the chance to touch and kiss the Stanley's Cup. In addition, he loved architecture and loved to draw, just as much as eating gourmet food, either made by his mother or from the amazing local restaurants. In the short 24 years of his existence, he was able to experience life and love more than the average person. He touched so many people's lives and simply wanted what was good for everyone. Unfortunately, Vartan became a victim to bacterial meningitis and left this world very suddenly and way too soon. We would say rest in peace, but we know he's still active and alive wherever he is. Vartan is survived by his mother, younger sister, grandparents, girlfriend, family, and friends. Vartan passed away Monday, August 26th, 2013.
Thank you. We remember all those who've went before us. Let's continue to serve the city of Los Angeles well. Remember all those in labor. Labor Day is Monday, big event in Wilmington. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you all.